Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a really critical challenge in the modern digital landscape. Just the sheer complexity of IT ecosystems.
It's kind of exploding, isn't it?
Totally. You think about hybrid infrastructures, all those API connections like a spider web, and the tons of SaaS applications everyone's using. It's really pushing IT leaders to rethink things. I saw a stat, something like over 90% are revising cloud strategies right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And hybrid cloud and AI integration, they're definitely top of mind.
So the potential there is massive.
Huh.
But actually connecting all these different pieces, sometimes it feels like trying to build with, I don't know, mismatched Lego bricks.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It ties up so much IT resource, doesn't it?
It really does.
And it's more than just a feeling. It's the day-to-day reality for a lot of organizations. The demand to get everything talking, saws, old legacy systems, partners outside the company, it just keeps growing.
Right. Faster, faster.
Exactly. But the old way, doing these one-off, custom-built integrations every single time,
Yeah.
it's really starting to break down.
Yeah, you hit a wall.
You do. It's like, imagine having master artisans, really skilled people, crafting every single tiny cog in a giant machine from scratch, every time.
Okay.
When what you actually need is, well, a set of standardized, reliable parts that will fit together effortlessly, ideally.
Exactly. And that's precisely where we're diving in today. We want to explore a smarter way.
Yeah.
The power of reusable integration assets. Our goal really is to get our heads around how using these pre-built bits and pieces can, speed up integration projects, sure, but also bring consistency and ultimately drive digital transformation more effectively.
Yeah, and it helps to look at it through the lens of, say, a modern integration platform, like the kind Seaburger provides, for instance. That platform becomes the enabler for this smarter approach. What's interesting, I think, is the shift in thinking. For ages, custom integration was almost like a badge of honor, showed off your bespoke engineering skill.
Sure, bespoke everything.
But that way of doing things, it often leads to what you could call integration sprawl, just this tangled mess of connections.
Hard to manage, hard to update.
Impossible to understand after a while. Reusable assets, they offer a path out of that complexity.
Okay, so instead of seeing every integration as this massive, unique mountain climb needing specialists,
right,
we start thinking more in terms of adaptable building blocks. So what do these actually look like? What are these reusable integration assets?
Yeah, good question. Think of them as prepackaged solutions for common problems.
Okay.
It could be a template for a whole process, like onboarding a new customer across 3 different systems.
Right.
Or maybe it's just a ready-made connector, like an API connector for linking Salesforce to your ERP system. It also includes the basic bits, the components that handle the technical handshake between apps. But the key is they're tested, documented, ready to go. It's like having a really well-stocked toolbox. You grab the right tool. You don't have to, forge a new hammer every time you need one.
That makes a lot of sense. So moving away from reinventing the wheel constantly towards leveraging what's already known, what's already built and standardized.
Precisely. Collective intelligence, standardized solutions.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting for me. To make this work, especially in a big organization, you can't just have a random pile of these reusable bits lying around, can you?
No, definitely not. That would be chaos.
Right. You need a way to organize them, find them, and that's where this idea of an integration asset catalog comes in, I guess.
Exactly right. If the reusable assets are the building blocks, the integration asset catalog is the library, the blueprint library, maybe. It's this central place, a repository, where all these components, APIs, schemas, data maps, entire integration flows even, are stored, managed, and crucially, discoverable.
Discoverable? Okay.
Think of it like the single source of truth for everything your organization can do in terms of integration.
So, if someone, say, in marketing, needs to connect 2 systems, their first stop isn't immediately calling IT to build something from scratch.
Hopefully not.
They'd browse this catalog first, see if a solution already exists, or maybe find parts they can use.
That's the idea. It sounds simple, but it's a huge efficiency boost.
I can imagine.
It stops different teams from accidentally solving the exact same problem independently. Wasted effort, right?
Oh.
And it encourages people to share and reuse. Different departments can benefit from work someone else already did. Builds on that collective expertise.
Okay, conceptually that clicks. But let's make it more concrete. Can you give us a practical example?
Yeah.
How would this catalog thing simplify a real-world challenge?
Sure. Let's take a common one. Maybe a business operations manager needs to connect Slack and Microsoft Outlook.
Okay, yeah. Get notifications flowing, maybe.
Something like that. Say they want important Slack messages to automatically create tasks or calendar entries in Outlook.
Right. Traditionally, that sounds technical.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably need someone who understands the APIs for both Slack and Outlook, right? Custom code, maybe?
Exactly. You'd need technical expertise, probably some custom development time, ongoing maintenance. It adds up.
So how does the catalog change that?
Well, with the catalog, the operations manager could search for something like Slack Outlook connector.
Okay.
They might find a pre-built asset. And the catalog wouldn't just list it. It would ideally show an overview page. Something easy to understand, maybe even non-technical.
Like step-by-step what it does.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe diagrams, clear descriptions.
Right.
We actually have visuals of this kind of thing, like an integrator workspace view where assets are easily accessible. Figure 1 in some of our materials shows this.
Got it. So it's clear what you're getting.
Right. Then the catalog entry, maybe like a connector details page, think Figure 2 would explain the function. Then the manager could customize it.
Customize how?
Through a hopefully user-friendly interface. They could define key things like, okay, what should the workflow be called? Which specific Slack channel triggers it? How should the Slack message turn into an Outlook task? That sort of thing.
Ah, so configuring, not coding.
Precisely. It empowers the business user to handle these routine connections themselves, freeing up the specialist IT folks for the really complex stuff.
Okay, I'm definitely seeing the ease of use benefit and the faster implementation. What are some of the other big business wins here from using reusable assets in these catalogs?
Well, beyond those two, which are pretty huge already,
Yeah, they are.
there's a massive impact on consistency. When you reuse assets built to certain standards, design patterns, data formats, quality checks, you automatically get more uniformity across all your integrations.
Which means fewer weird errors or unexpected behaviors.
Exactly. And it just makes the whole IT landscape easier to manage, more predictable.
And I bet that standardization helps with governance and compliance, too.
Oh, absolutely. A central catalog gives you a clear view. Who built what? When was it updated? Who has access?
An audit trail, basically.
Yep. Much easier to manage. Access control, track versions, make sure you're meeting regulations. You actually know what's connected to what.
It also sounds like it shines a light on everything. Better visibility across the board.
Totally. If it's all cataloged, you have a much clearer picture of your existing integrations, how data is actually flowing.
Which helps you make smarter decisions.
For sure. You can spot where things could be optimized, avoid building something that basically already exists, understand dependencies better.
Right. And productivity, you mentioned that earlier with the Slack example. Automating workflows, cutting out manual steps.
Big productivity boosts for both the business users and the IT teams who aren't constantly reinventing the wheel. And think about the features within a good catalog platform. Built-in search makes finding things easy. Version control handles updates smoothly. Governance tools keep things compliant. It all adds up to reliability.
It really paints a picture of a much more, agile and efficient way to handle integration. So looking ahead then, where is this all going? What's the future look like with this emphasis on reusability?
I think the future of integration is, well, it's smart, it's connected, and it has to be scalable. We're already seeing AI playing a bigger role.
How so?
AI in integration platforms can start to learn from existing integrations, maybe suggest reusable components automatically, perhaps even automate more of the setup.
Interesting.
The whole focus is shifting towards breaking down those silos we talked about, enabling really seamless connectivity, especially in these complex hybrid cloud worlds everyone's dealing with. And platforms like Seaburgers, for example, are really designed to be central to that future, providing the tools, the catalog, the whole environment to make this happen.
So it's about building a more adaptive enterprise, really, where integration isn't this constant headache, this bottleneck.
Exactly.
But it's actually a core strength, something that helps you move faster, innovate more.
That's the goal. Organizations that really lean into this collaborative, platform-based approach using reusable assets, they're just going to be better positioned.
Better positioned to handle market changes, adopt new tech.
And gain a real competitive edge. Absolutely. It's about agility at the end of the day.
Wow. Okay, this has been a really insightful deep dive. I think the key takeaway for me is pretty clear. In today's world, this idea of integrating faster and working smarter through reuse, it's not just a nice to have anymore, is it?
No, I'd say it's becoming fundamental. It's really a necessity for business agility now.
Agreed.
And it's worth thinking, how could this idea of reuse apply beyond just the tech to business processes, data flows within your own organization?
That's a great point, which leads to maybe a final thought for everyone listening. What new possibilities, what new levels of innovation or efficiency could your organization unlock if connecting systems and data became like a truly collaborative, easily reusable capability shared across all your departments?
That's a powerful question. It could really change how you approach digital transformation altogether.
Definitely something to mull over.
And look, if you are interested in exploring this further, seeing how an integration platform can help harness these reusable assets, I definitely suggest visiting seaburger.com.
Right?
You'll find more resources there, including info specifically on this topic: integrate faster, work smarter, the future of reusable integration assets.
Good stuff. And I assume if people have specific questions about their own integration challenges.
Yeah, there's a contact form on the website too, a direct way to reach out to their integration experts.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.